I'm closing all these windows. I know,
Oh,
Kira.
look, we are live. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. It's Fucked Up Friday, Dana.
It's Fucked Up Friday. You know what's fucked up? The last nature off.
Uh-oh, it's the final dog treat.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. I'm Dana Dubois.
I'm Lawrence Winterman.
That's my best friend.
That's my best friend.
Lawrence, I just had this vision of like years in the future, and it's a like behind the music um story of our early years, and eventually we're gonna like be coked out and hate each other, and
Mhm.
they're gonna play that cut and we're gonna be like, we said that every morning, but we secretly were seething with rage.
Right.
We hated each other. He was sleeping with all my boyfriends.
Oh no, we're not
What?
actually streaming to Substack right now because something is wrong with the stream.
Oh, isn't that exciting?
Right. Let me edit. Um
Okay, I'm just gonna be here and be like, okay, I'm off now.
Yeah. Would you do me a favor and check to see if it is actually
I,
streaming on Substack while I
I
go in and create a
yeah.
new destination?
Yeah, I'm hitting refresh. I don't see it. I mean, it takes a few minutes for me typically anyways,
It
but
does, it does. But
no, I'll put a note up saying we are experiencing technical
please
difficulties.
hold. Oh, and you know, no one's gonna appreciate my final countdown.
Am I behind the music?
Yeah, yeah. They've missed all of that gold. Comedy gold.
Hopefully in the recap. Um, Stand by for the
Okay, I think I created a new destination and that it is
okay.
currently streaming, but let's see.
I should have tagged you in that. Okay, let me go back to Gen XC.
Sorry, Dr. Eric.
Yeah, this doesn't happen usually. Do you think they did an update of some sort?
No, no, I mean, I don't think so. Eric says that's why it's fucked up Friday.
This is Fucked Up Friday.
You know what? I'm just gonna bring Eric on screen. You're
Hi, Eric.
we're just gonna skip all the niceties when we actually go live, Dr. Lullove. How do we say your last name correctly? Where do we put the
It's
emphasis?
Lullove,
Lullove.
right? But listen, that's what I do for a living. For here, it's just Dr. Eric. So
All right. Oh,
Dr.
but we still
Eric.
have to do the doctor.
I earned it.
You did earn it. I
You
found out
did earn it for
yesterday.
sure.
I found out yesterday one of my coworkers has a PhD, and I was like, if I had a PhD, I'd force my kids to call me Dr. Mom. Like doctor would go before everything.
Okay, we are actually live on
No.
Substack. Thank
Phew.
goodness. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Whatever Show. We had some technical difficulties, but now we're here.
It's all my fault.
Absolutely
Probably.
not Dr. Love's fault. Dr. Eric Love is here with us today. Doctor, please introduce yourself to people, if you would.
Hi, everybody. So my name is Eric Lullove. I am a foot and ankle surgeon based in South Florida. I have been in practice for 22 and a half years. So the area of my focus is really on government regulatory affairs and
Oh.
in the advanced wound care space, doing limb salvage, surgery, um, mostly patient advocacy and physician advocacy, but mostly on protecting patients from their own fallacies and basically not phalanxes, Lawrence, fallacies.
Yeah.
So it's mostly about really fighting for Medicare beneficiaries, getting the right coverage policies done, and that's led into where we are today with let's make America unhealthy again. So
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, Dr. Eric. What I heard out of that is if somebody in South Florida gets their foot bitten off by an alligator or a shark, you're the guy that they go to.
Yeah. One
Is
of
that
them.
true?
Close.
Oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
That's
So
pretty badass.
unfortunately, I was, because of my location of where my office is with the hospital, I was involved in the Parkland shooting years
Oh,
ago and taking care of a lot of those kids, with the trauma that we all went through in the community with that. So School shootings just don't affect the kids. It affects the entire community, from parents, teachers, staff, and healthcare.
Yeah.
It's
Mm,
this is not a fun time to be living in. This is not where we should be as a society. This is nowhere near where I thought, if you had asked me 20 plus years ago when I graduated medical school and did my residency training, what I'd be doing, I would not be doing what I'm doing now. That wouldn't even be on my bingo card.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. We've talked a lot about the assumption of an upward trajectory in terms of a culture and things that seemed inviolate that, could never go back. I can't believe like that you were there for the Parkland shootings. If Lawrence and I were a different age, we would have gone to Marjorie Stoneman Douglas. Like we grew up right there.
Right there.
We went to high school and I was friends with the mom of one of the victims. That like that was a day like I heard about it very early on Facebook of people like because so many people we know stayed there and raised their families in South Florida, with all of them freaking out and kind of checking in about their kids. And so that was it was a tragedy for all of us, but it was super close, literally close to home for Lawrence and me. So, wow, thank you for the work you did to help
Now
us.
that we've depressed everybody on Friday morning.
It is fucked up Friday.
It is fucked up Friday.
And yeah, we usually start off fucked up Friday for anyone here who's new, talking about the news of the week, kind of in aggregate, the big stories. And then we get into our fucked up Friday competition where we have each pitched one story that will be the most fucked up of them all. And then we're going to pitch them and have you all vote for who the winner is, even though we all lose. I'm happy to talk about news of the week, but I would love to dive in with your expertise on like, what the fuck is the state of medicine, medical care, insurance, all of these things that we all know are like quite dystopian, I would even say these days. Like you go to the doctor and you need to, and then you just sort of sit and wait with horror of like, what kind of bills are going to be rolling in? Am I going to be able to pay for my, groceries next month because I got sick?
So for most people,
Yeah.
whether you're self-employed, let's just take the current where we are today, right?
Yeah.
Talking about what's going to happen in 10 days is a whole nother issue.
Oof.
So let's talk about, for the majority of Americans who are employed, who have employer-based insurance, nothing really will change going into next year other than your out-of-pocket costs are going to go up again. So as every year, as we've been seeing for the last 20 years, that we went from almost like traditional insurance where there was like a very low deductible. Like I remember having a Blue Cross plan that had like a $500 deductible. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now that same deductible is, $18, $19, $2,000.
Yeah,
So
that
over
sounds
the
about
year,
right.
right. So over the years, insurance companies have basically, because of the health risk pools of the applicants and the people that they're covering, and let's also keep in mind that Aetna, United Healthcare, and Cigna, and the Blues are all for-profit companies. They are literally for-profit corporations. So their whole methodology is what is the whole purpose of a company, right? It's to make money. That is the whole point of a company, and the basic premise of capitalistic society with a corporation is to be profitable. So their way of balancing out the books, so to speak, is that on the income side, and I always like to tell my patients, like insurance companies are banks. They look at everything else like we do. They have income and expenses, right? So on the income side are beneficiaries and the agents that sell the plans. Those are your income streams. Right. On the expense side is everything they pay out. Medical claims to providers, hospitals, laboratories, independent radiology centers, surgery centers, durable medical equipment, and the other big elephant in the room, which is pharmacy. Is the pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
So in the medical world, and this is what everybody needs to really remember, is that there are three basic pillars of profitability. And one is pharma, two is hospitals, And the third one is the insurance companies. So when you're watching television, even for a half an hour, take a note of who's advertising in that half an hour.
Right.
Say prime time
Yeah.
between 6 and 7 o'clock, right?
Right.
It's
Pharma.
either a car company,
Yep.
it's usually a drug.
Yep.
You may see an insurance company, but you
Yep.
definitely will see a bank, right? So advertising on media is expressive of where we are in society, right? It's like when you drive down the street and you see a strip mall, you can always bank on there's going to be a nail salon and a cleaners, right? It's
Yeah.
like, guys, it's kind
Yes.
of right? So when we're talking about this, there's so many facets to the American healthcare system, and it is, imagine as a immigrant coming here, going through the process, getting your citizenship, taking 7, 10 years, whatever, and then trying to figure out how the healthcare system works. But what's even more criminal is imagine being a senior and you're in your 80s and your families, let's say, like for a lot of my beneficiaries, they live down here, the families are up north, and you're getting bombarded with advertisements for Medicare Advantage and drug plans. And, oh, you need to flip your fee-for-service Medicare to a Medicare Advantage. I mean, it is absolutely criminally insane, the amount of advertising.
Yes.
That Humana, I mean, it is just United Healthcare. I mean, it's, and the recent data that just came out, and I had published this a few weeks ago, is that Medicare Advantage, and for all of you in the chat, just so you're aware, there is legitimately no savings on being a Medicare Advantage recipient and flipping from Medicare fee-for-service to a Medicare Advantage. Unless, because what happens is your care winds up costing about 20% more to the taxpayers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So it's just a worse deal overall.
Oh, the whole thing was a spin-off payoff to the insurance companies. The whole Medicare Advantage deal was a payoff to the insurance companies.
Oh my God.
So
every time we see ads for those Medicare Advantage plans, it's just like the government's going to pay more for this not service.
And here's how it works. So I get inundated. I have been inundated, and every provider gets inundated during the year with record requests for Medicare Advantage beneficiaries. But here's the thing, they're not physically coming from the insurer. So I get a third-party document request for a patient who's on a Medicare Advantage policy because they see the claim go through where I've tagged the patient with either some sort of type 1 or type 2 diabetes or vascular disease or some other clinical condition that the Advantage policy can then go back to HHS and ask for more money per patient, because those patients have a higher clinical condition that requires more care for the year, that the insurance company, under the law, can reclaim money back from HHS to take care of that beneficiary. So I am like inundated with record requests all year from these third-party companies that they've contracted with to chase these charts. So it is invariably cheaper to stay on Medicare fee-for-service and have a supplemental plan and then pick up a $4 copay generic drug policy.
You know, it's so interesting, Dr. Eric, to hear you describe it this way. I mean, it's like I know these things intellectually, but just hearing you distill it like that really crystallized for me. Like, of course it's so expensive. There are 3 major industries that all require profit out of this, system that we've created. There's nobody in there who is looking to keep costs low and to make it more efficient, because hospitals want to bill more and make more profit. Insurance companies want to charge as much as they can, get as much as they can. And pharma companies are going to say that they need to reap back the benefit from all of their research and development, right? So
which they get, which is why they have a 7-year patent right. So if we let's roll the clock back to 2003. Okay. So the Medicare Modernization Act was passed in 2000.
We just rolled it
right?
back for you.
Right? Okay. So in 2003, President George W. Bush signs into law the Medicare Modernization Act, which pretty much gave the authorization for the Medicare Advantage policies to come into effect, right? And all the Democrats signed off on it. This was like an overwhelming majority passed bill, bipartisan, overwhelmingly. Okay. So it was a clunky system. And at this time, remember, most patients are on Medicare fee-for-service.
Yep.
And insurance companies are acting very independently. So as they started insuring more Medicare patients, they realized that, oh, crap, people are living longer. And then part of the other legislation, and this is the inside baseball stuff within the healthcare system. So if you're a Medicare Advantage recipient, let's say, Lawrence, you decide to sign on with let's say like Aetna, okay? Now you've signed over your Medicare benefit to be managed by a for-profit healthcare industry insurer. Right. So you're no longer insured under Medicare. You're still a Medicare recipient, right? Because you sign over your Social Security payment to your Medicare Part B, you sign over to Aetna, so that $266 a month or whatever it's going to cost based on whenever you entered the system, Aetna collects that from HHS, and then that's how they do it. So now what they've done is you're now locked into their providers. So it's almost like being in an HMO. You don't need a referral, although that's what they did create. They created cheaper plans with HMOs. So now you needed a referral if you're a Medicare Advantage patient, right? So they kind of incorporated their commercial insurance policies right into their Medicare network. Mm-hmm. And then on top of it, what they've done is, because there's very little oversight on the CMS side of things with this, they were plugging their own commercial policies in to the Medicare beneficiary line. So for example, let's just say, for example, Dana was of Medicare age and she stayed Medicare fee-for-service, and you both went in for the same, let's say, defibrillator pacemaker procedure. Yeah. Dana, being a Medicare fee-for-service recipient, say would get Boston Scientific's brand new state-of-the-art defibrillator.
Okay.
Lawrence, you're getting the Buick from 2 years ago.
Not a Buick.
Because Aetna's policy puts a limit on the new technology that they approve, plus it's a lower cost. So this is how they save money, and what they do is they don't update their policies as frequently.
Right.
So there might be a policy for a health coverage policy for pacemaker defibrillator that might be 3 years old. So the new stuff won't be included, and this is how they save money. So they just limit. It's not that they're limiting services. They're not saying you can't have your defibrillator, but they're going to tell you which one you're going to get.
You know, Dr. Eric, I was actually in a pretty good mood this morning, but I think you have gotten me to burn it all down quicker.
So really what it comes down to is it's for patients, for beneficiaries, when you're making these healthcare choices, right? Going on Medicare is like kind of like the golden goose egg for everybody. Like, oh, finally made it on Medicare. Well, then you start, okay, now you have another choice. You're at another fork in the road with your lifestyle is here's my egg that I got to live with every month.
Right.
Okay. And I tell my patients, you have your wealth. As you get older, you have your wealth and your health, and you can't have one without the other. So you might as well, as you age, put your money and invest into your healthcare so that you're fully covered, so that you never get a bill.
Yeah.
Okay. So that you don't have to worry about having a catastrophic healthcare event at 68, 72 years of age.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's speed up the wheels here. 23 years. It's 2025. Okay. Now we're at a position where we have pharmacy benefit managers, which limit how much medication you can have, which medications you can get. Your doctor prescribes a name brand drug because it's working better, it's got better efficacy, but the pharmacy benefit manager won't let you have it because they don't negotiate the rates for those drugs. You know, and we're seeing this we saw this with the GLP-1 drugs, right? With for weight loss, for Wegovy and semaglutide and tirzepatide. So we saw that, and I can't even say his name, was marching around the Oval Office saying what a great job he did in lowering drug prices. Well, if you had done what you're supposed to do years ago, in your first term, we wouldn't be here today. So,
Right.
it's the whole thing is just so convoluted, and now they've really complicated things by kicking off 24 million people.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, we haven't even gotten into the.
I was segueing it for you.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I was like,
No, look, I mean, I know this sounds like a minor complaint, all things considered, but like the system has become enshittified in even the smallest ways, right? So
Mhm.
I'm on Mounjaro for type 2 diabetes, and it's working perfectly. I am no longer technically diabetic thanks to the Mounjaro.
I think everybody should be on these drugs, first of all.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm also on Descovy, which is PrEP medication and HIV prevention medication, because I'm a gay man and I have sex, and all gay men should be on this medication because it saves lives.
Yeah,
And
this is our shocked face, Lawrence.
right, so
What?
my insurance does get me good deals on both of those medications, um, but every time I go to refill them at the CVS, that I fill my stuff at. And again, this is just a small little thing, but the insurance company refuses to let those drugs be auto refilled, right?
Correct.
Like I always need to call in. Like I always get there and I'm like, oh no, I should have, 5 to pick up. I should have Manjaro and Descovy here. And they're like, oh, that wasn't auto refilled. I'm like, dudes, literally every month I put this on auto refill.
And that's your PBM as part of your healthcare plan that controls that.
Yeah, when you mentioned the pharmacy benefit manager, I was like, that's the asshole who, literally, I don't know. I like to imagine that there's an evil elf somewhere who's the pharmacy benefit manager, like
They are.
unchecking the little tick box that says auto renew every month. I check it and then they go in and uncheck it.
It makes you help if you picture Stephen Miller from South Park.
Yeah.
He's that, can I help you? Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of where, and what I want to remind everybody is, like, I hear a lot of complaints from patients like, oh, you're a doctor, you don't need to be charging me this much. Just so everybody knows, physicians have not had a raise in the cost of living adjustment, or what we call COLA, in the healthcare system, as far as the fee schedule is concerned with Medicare, since 1998.
Yeah.
I am 30% underwater where I should be in cost of living relative to, income changes over time.
Yeah.
Every physician in the country is on a 30% pay cut. And also, to remind everybody, we're still dealing with the sequester from 2012 that the House GOP put in the spending bills. They still have that on the books, the 2.2% reduction that every physician has to eat.
I don't know what that is. I have to
Yeah,
admit.
So
2012.
remember that when Ryan was the House Speaker, and this was the way of it. So in order to curb spending, they passed what was called the sequester. So all federal spending had a 2.2% reduction in outlays from the Treasury. That's still on the Medicare EOBs that I get when I get my claims back from CMS, from the Medicare contractors.
Was that meant to last this long? I mean, 2012.
I don't remember. I can't remember if the legislation had an end date, but it's like right now it's in perpetuity. So so now the physicians we haven't had a 30% pay raise since we're down 30% since 1998.
Right.
We've been dealing with a 2% sequester cut since 2012. They've given us these little 0.5% increases here and there, and some specialties take a 4% hit and some take a 2% raise. And at the end of the day, it all winds up evening out. But the one thing that is determinative on how physicians bill Medicare is what they call a conversion factor. They figure out that GBO does this with HHS, and it's a dollar amount. This year was like 35.87. That's what they figure per what they call a relative value unit, and what they determine off, like a regular office visit, they determine to have a regular value unit of 1. So everything else is based off of that. So if I do a more complex surgery that has a higher level of relative value units, multiplied by the conversion factor, and that's how they get the rate. So, but at the end of the day, if that rate is 30% less where it should be,
Yeah.
so that's why you're seeing physicians going concierge. That's why you see physicians charging for prescription refills or doing things that are off book that are not covered by insurance, such as orthobiologics, plasma protein injections, platelet-rich injections, or doing aesthetics in the office. That's why all of a sudden your primary care physician's all of a sudden doing aesthetics and doing Botox in the office,
Yeah.
because there's just very little way to make extra money just living and billing off of insurances. And what you see now in like New York City and Boston and Chicago is that the physicians in those cities are no longer taking any insurance.
Yeah.
Everybody's cash.
Yeah, we just had
That's
somebody in the
terrifying.
chat asking if you could
Yes.
explain about that, and so I'm glad that we kind of got there in the conversation. But it's remarkable, right? That we could be at a place where physicians, in order to protect their livelihood, to be able to offer the kinds of level of service that they want to offer to their patients, have to do things like this. It's crazy that we're in this place. How do we get out of it? We've got 3 minutes, doctor. How do we get out of it?
Could you explain how to fix all of this?
Well, the first it starts with us, right? It starts with citizens, and it starts with our elections, and it starts with stopping the process of electing unserious people.
Unserious. I like that word.
Okay. I don't want to quote Michael Douglas from The American President, but we have serious problems and need serious people to deal with it. But we have very unserious people in Congress, and they're not I couldn't imagine if I had spent my entire career as a public service, going through city council and then county and then going to the state representative and getting elected to a federal officer position like a House congressman, and then just get to that point in my career and then just abdicate all that power that I have to the executive branch. You're one of 435 people that has a seat at the table that can affect millions, and you just abdicate that power away.
Yep.
Yeah. Or you're using the power to do active harm.
Which is worse.
Which is way worse.
I don't know which one's worse. either abdicating it to somebody else. You're the Congress people that we have that are fighting for us are the ones that the Democratic National Party is undercutting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because they don't play the game.
Right. How do we get message? How do we clue in our leaders at the topmost levels that healthcare is we all live in human bodies and that all require care. This should be an equalizer and a no-brainer.
Dana, honestly, it's 2 words. It's 3 words, really. It's repeal Citizens United.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You have got to figure out a way to take the money out of politics from the dark side and the light. There's just no reason that a corporation should be able to donate to and then act as a person.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are ass backwards.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That are frustrating. Nothing's more frustrating for me. And I had this happen a couple months ago. Was I had a patient was going to surgery, called the insurance company, got a prior authorization for their coverage, had the authorization number, everything was ready to go. I was doing an orthopedic repair. I was doing a foot surgery. And the day before the procedure, the surgery center called me and said, we got denied on the authorization. I'm like, what are you talking? So what wound up happening was they reviewed the case. They went back and re-reviewed my chart records. And when I called back to find out to kind of have a peer-to-peer, this is what happens. So, for example, Lawrence, you're a journalist, right? Okay. Sure. You would expect a journalist to review your work.
Yeah.
Right. If you're going to go for a Pulitzer Prize, you would expect another journalist to review your work. Right. So in medicine, physicians are the only ones that can police other physicians right? But it's specialty specific. So I would not expect an emergency room physician to read my notes and know what I'm doing.
Right.
They don't have the core background residency training to know what I'm doing as a surgeon. They're not a surgeon, first of all. They're an ER physician. No offense to ER physicians. Okay. So when I went back and did this phone call, and what wound up happening was it was a retired OBGYN that reviewed the chart and denied the case.
Oh my God.
And they wouldn't give me their name. They wouldn't tell me what they were board certified in. I literally, because I do a lot of audit work for a couple of defense companies that we do defending doctors on clawbacks, I was able to kind of pull a few strings here and there, and we were able to find out who it was. And it was a 78-year-old retired OBGYN that was working for the insurance company that had no clue what I was doing. It might as well have been my chart might as well have been in Swahili.
Might as well have been us reviewing it, being like, I don't know, their foot seems fine.
78-year-old retired physician, why are you working?
Because they need somebody to fill the seat to review charts, to hit the stamp, deny.
Yeah.
I mean, it's scary. This is where we're at. And the reason why claims get denied is because if the insurance companies had to pay out every claim that came in, they would be bankrupt in 3 days. They reserve a number of claims to be held in denial because their cash flow is making interest each day. And that's how it's so, okay, this is basic economics, right? You don't, if you've got money in the bank earning interest, you just let that kind of run, and then you pay a little bit here, a little bit here. And this is how our healthcare system is being run right now. It's literally a hodgepodge of multiple systems kind of wedged together that somehow we don't have mass death in the United States.
Yeah.
That somehow there's some sort of safety net between all the systems that, and really what it comes down to, it's the healthcare providers. It's really the physicians who are the nurses, the physical therapists, the allied health professionals, or what the government would call non-professionals now, who are holding the line, and we're getting burnt the hell out.
Yeah. What's interesting is I see what you're talking about here reflected in the larger economy overall, right?
Yeah.
Because, Dana and I are tech workers before, journalists and writers and what we want to be. And the same thing is being played out in completely different industries, right? Where people are being pushed to the limits. They're being assigned more work and more responsibility with less compensation, greater invasion into kind of work-life balance, and, being pushed to the edge of burnout in everything. It's just reflected across our entire economy. It's almost as if late-stage capitalism isn't working for people, Doctor.
It's not that it doesn't work. Capitalism does work. Right. But you have unserious people and unscrupulous people who are in charge making decisions that are screwing the bulk of the population that are supposed to be benefiting from the system.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm all for people making money. Lawrence, you said it. Nobody should make $1 billion a year, right? You can live very comfortably in the United States on $500,000 a year, depending on where you're living, right? You may need more to live in New York City versus LA, right? But I'm just saying, you can live like a king on $500,000 a year. I mean, it's not difficult. You can take multiple vacations. You can buy expensive things. You can go out to dinner and not worry about your bottom line, right? So for somebody to earn $1 billion, let alone $100 million,
right? Or like Elon, $684 billion.
Don't even mention his name. It's like Voldemort, right? It's like you don't mention him. But I look at Norway, I look at Sweden, and yes, and every country's got problems, right? They all have their issues with their systems of government, right? But a democratic socialist country, there's a reason why Norway is the second happiest country in the world.
Yeah.
Because their population doesn't have to worry about education, healthcare, and catastrophic life issues.
Right.
They're covered. And with the amount of freaking waste that this company does financially, the waste, there's no reason for any child in this country to be hungry.
Yep.
There's no reason for anybody to be homeless. There's no reason why four-year college educations or trade school can be paid for.
Yeah.
And there is a whole financial apparatus of the plutocracy of keeping people poor, stupid, and sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's right there. That was
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And it's being done through manipulation and language, and that, like, the people who would benefit from it most are the ones voting against their own interests, who are just like, they don't believe in that what you said is
Well,
possible, where the rest of us are like, no, the money's here, and
but
it's
it's not like we haven't been waving the warning flags. It's not like those of us who are active in, I mean, I so okay, so just let me put this in perspective. So I have about, say, 1,200 patients in my practice active, rotating over the course of a year, right?
yeah.
So prior to 2015, I could count on one hand, how many patients I kicked out of the practice for behavioral issues.
Oh, okay.
Since 2015, it's been 33.
It's been how many? Sorry,
33.
that you've
Where
kicked out
I have
because
fired patients from the practice for behavior issues.
Because they're unreasonable or like crazy MAGA
Entitlement.
yeller.
They're super MAGA right. They're super progressive left. They don't, you're walking into my business and you don't disrespect me in my house.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
You can disagree with me. My job as the provider is to give you options on your care. It's not to tell you how to live your life, but my job is to provide you the options necessary so that you can make your own informed healthcare decisions. Right? That's why you're coming to see me. It's not to argue how you don't like my decor in the office, or you don't like how, like, I blink at you because you
Wow,
don't like
why
the
do
way
you
my left
think?
eye,
Yeah, why do you think that that's increased so much in the last decade?
Well, I brought this up yesterday with the show with Nick and Evan and Walter, and I brought it up again on Monday with Nick and Beth. We have a mental health crisis across the
Yeah.
board
Mm-hmm.
that we have not funded mental health. We have not taken care of the basic human need of people needing to connect,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and people need to feel connected. And there is a loss of connection in this country with people. Like, think about when we were growing up, right? You knew your neighbors. You could go next door. You knew the people who lived around you. How many of us can say that in our neighborhoods today, I mean, you might know your immediate next door neighbor or the person across the street, right? But how many of you know the neighbors 2, 3, 4 doors down?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Where
And
you
it,
socialized or gone out to dinner or had a party at your house, and you've really got to know people. And
and
it's
I
progressively since worse from COVID.
I think it's the zoom out again, right? Of like, and also everyone is feeling strung out because we are all working more hours and earning less. Everyone's feeling the pressure of not
Yeah.
being able to make ends meet or save for retirement or just exist and subsist in your city if you're living in a city, right? And then you've got COVID, like you were saying, the pandemic, you've got, the effects of social media. Like all of us are set on edge and living these unhealthy, disconnected lives because
Yeah.
we're trying to just survive in this crazy society that is literally, like it's being engineered to pit us against each other and to make us uncomfortable and unhappy so that we buy more things.
Yeah. But the consumption of goods doesn't make you any happier.
Well,
No.
absolutely.
You
Yeah.
But the
know,
lack
it's
of a safety net, like you were
Right.
saying about Norway and feeling safe, like even in our Gen X lifespans, say these 30 years of working. I just said this to a friend the other day of like our cheese keeps moving. We're in our mid 50s,
I
and
read
so I'm
that
like,
book. It's a good
yeah,
book. It's a
yeah.
great book.
They're like, oh, maybe one day we'll retire. What that felt like 20 years ago of what one
Right.
needed to do that was like, okay. And now I'm like, it feels impossibly out. Like every year it feels like it's like we're running towards something we'll never get. And it's so destabilizing. So yeah, of course your mental health is when you see no as we would say at work, path to green.
Right.
And all you see is like, I'm going to fail no matter what. It's really hard to have an upbeat attitude.
You know,
I am realizing though, it's getting, we've got to get to
Right.
our
We
Fucked Up
should
Friday
really
competition.
yeah.
I
Just looked at the clock. I'm like, crap, we're 40 minutes into this. We even
Yeah,
talk about the
I
ACA
just
yet.
wanted, because we started late, I'm not sure people heard at the beginning. Doctor, I just wanted to say a big public thanks to you. You've been incredibly generous, not just with us, but with the Feeding America drive. And, you know, you are such a valuable member of this community. You know, seeing your name pop up in the chat every day puts a smile on my face. And I know it does the same for
Well, now
many
you see
other
it.
people in the chat. So thank you for everything that you've done.
No.
for the
Well,
whole
I
community.
listen, I am at a point where I'm able to happily, like, be a supporter of all of the work that everybody does on Substack that makes a difference. We do make a difference, right? You guys do impact people's lives, and it's important that you know that.
Thank you.
Like,
thank
you do. You know, not everybody can vocalize it in the chat, and not everybody has the opportunity to be on the show like I've been able to do. But at least let me say, for the subscribers, you guys across the board, and it's not just you, it's Blue Amp, it's Melissa, it's Ellie, it's, you know, Nick and Evan and everybody at Lincoln Square and Walter and the Shane and like the group of people who I'm forgetting to mention, right? You all do make a difference. And it's these little blips of change that are going to eventually fix the system that's broken. And then we can eventually get to the point where we can elect the serious people we need to fix the damage that we have just, I mean, this is like a cancer, what we're in right now, right?
Yep.
And as a surgeon, when I look at a cancer, the whole point is you either radiate it, chemo treat it, or surgically excise it.
Yep.
Yeah.
We're at the point, this is the type of cancer that needs a wide en bloc surgical resection with a massive plastic surgical repair.
Right. And
Right?
chemo and radiation. Right. Like we've
Right.
got to kill the rot at the heart of the system.
And a change in the lifestyle, maybe.
But I think the argument, not to get too political here, but I mean, we've heard other people say Trump is a symptom. He's not the cause. The cause is this plutocracy that thinks that they can engineer our lives, that they can tell us what to think, what to read, what to visualize, what information we're getting, what we're, you know, and if it hasn't hit everybody yet, it's already done because of the takeover at legacy media.
Right.
It starts with the media, right? It starts with suppression of human rights in the media, and then, you know, it's a slow, painful death by 1,000 cuts.
Yeah.
On that happy note,
Dr.
note, Eric, let's play Fucked Up Friday.
Oh yeah, let's go.
To everyone in the chat, we'll repeat the rules. We have each prepared a single story that we think is the most fucked up news of the week amid a sea of choices because every week the news is so fucked up. We are going to each pitch the story to you, and that's important for you, Dr. Eric. I know you've been on as a participant before, but you can't just say the story. You really got to sell it.
I can sell it.
Of why this story is the most fucked up. And then once we're done pitching, y'all in the chat, we'll get to vote for which one of us is the victor in the battle of Fucked Up Friday when we're all losing, because we all have to live through all of this actual news we're reading to you. We always used to give our guests first up on mic, but we've learned that there can be a recency bias. So if you would like to go first, second, or third, that is your choice, Dr. Eric.
It's your show. You guys pick.
Ooh.
Hmm.
Lawrence, what do you think?
No one's ever given us that option before. Dr. Eric, I think we should let you go last because I think you've got a good contender. So Dana, do you want to go first or second?
I don't think I almost ever go first. It's been a while, so I'll go first.
Okay.
So this is a story I saw a few days ago. Apologies for my dog being a guard dog lunatic over there. Hopefully it's not too loud. I have the link right here. I saw this in my Facebook feed because I am a LGBTQ Pinko commie, I guess, or LGBTQ supporting. I've only seen this. I'm saying that as a joke, of course. I'm only seeing this news so far on queer focused publications. But the headline reads Pam Bondi directs FBI to offer cash bounty for promoters of, quote, radical gender ideology. The memo, and then the subhead is the memo teases out a directive from President Donald Trump. So it goes on from here to say the Justice Department has instructed the FBI to crack down on supposed domestic terrorist organizations, the definition of which includes those who promote radical gender ideology. Part of that crackdown involves the establishment of a cash reward for providing information on leaders of so-called domestic terrorist organizations. So a year ago, a little over a year ago, when we reelected this lunatic, I was running and still run a publication called Pink Hair and Pronouns, which is focused on supporting parents and other caregivers of gender nonconforming kids as they go through their transition, as they explore their radical gender ideology. And so I went and read Project 2020. Well, I didn't read all of Project 2025, but I did a control find on the word trans and saw all of the references and saw that this was a risk. And I, at the time, reached out to the CEO of Medium, Tony Stubblebine, and said, is this a real risk? Do you feel like you can protect me and the other publications that are LGBTQ plus focused? And he said a lot of really nice things, but at the end of the day, no, I wouldn't be able to protect you. I know your real name. We have your through Stripe, we have your tax records, we know exactly who you are. And if we were subpoenaed, we would have to turn that information over. And so I had to make a really tough call of like, do I take all of this down right now? And of course, my answer was like, no, I'm not obeying in advance. Seeing this news, it hasn't cracked mainstream media yet. The link I sent is to them.us. So it's a LGBTQ plus focused site. Those are the only places I've seen reporting on this. But I believe this is real, and anyone out there in need of extra cash, apparently, you can turn me in. There's a
Dana,
bounty.
how much cash do I get? I mean, does someone get if they
It
turn you
doesn't
in?
specify. It doesn't specify the cash amount, but I hope it's a lot, Lawrence. If you're gonna take the cash and I'm gonna go get hauled
It's
away,
$1,776.
You're right, yeah, 1776. But after taxes, it's some weird
It's
amount.
1,700, yeah.
right,
Yeah.
y'all, it's not worth it. I'll give you $1,776 if I have to not get hauled away by ICE. But that is my fucked up Friday pitch of the week. They are actually not only cracking down on, hold on, I have radical gender ideology, which is the idea that trans and non-binary people exist.
Right.
They
I mean,
are
in your case, you're the worst kind of radical gender ideologue because, you insisted on supporting your child
Yeah,
as they
who
experience their
ironically,
gender journey. You were
ironically, the journey just kind of went full circle. And she's my daughter again, but she did her exploration that she needed to do to feel confident in her sense of self, and I am in all
Right.
support of that. So that is my fucked up Friday pitch, y'all. That if I'm not here one day, I'm locked up in the gender ideology radical camp. I don't know where that one is, but if I find out, I'll try to send some signal to let you all know where I am. So
It's probably some new location in the middle of the Florida Everglades. They didn't tell
oh
you.
Jesus, please don't send me back to Florida. That's my only request.
no offense to you, Dr. Eric, but oh God, Florida.
Yeah. I've had enough of Florida. You're the best thing maybe that's in. I mean, my mom is there, but also, yeah, South Florida, not a fan.
Yeah. I'm still voting for Dr. Eric. Sorry, Fran.
I won't tell her. She'll never listen to our
Yeah,
show.
she won't listen to this, so
No.
I'm safe.
All right,
I'll
Lawrence,
go
you're up.
next. In the interest of time, I'm going to make this quick. I think this one is a doozy. Dr. Eric, watch out.
Okay.
So, it's a two-parter. Several days ago, Dr. Nuno Loureiro, an MIT professor who specialized in plasma dynamics and fusion, who's the director of the entire Plasma Science and Fusion Center at MIT, was gunned down outside of his house, assassinated in this seemingly random hit. 3 days later, Donald Trump announced that Truth Social was merging with TAE Technologies, a Russian fusion company, right as energy demand for AI data centers is driving energy costs higher. So I'm not one to gossip, y'all, so you didn't hear this from me, but it certainly looks
Of
like
course not.
this MIT genius professor of fusion was assassinated right as Donald Trump's technology, True Social company, which is also now a bigger technology company, apparently merges with a Russian fusion company in a $6 billion deal. Tell me that doesn't look sus, as the kids say. That is my pitch for Fucked Up Friday. Like, the fact that we could be entering the era of American citizens or green card holders, people on American soil being assassinated, scientists being assassinated because there's a profit to be made if somebody else holds, the technology or the patent or whatever. We're fucking way down the rabbit hole at this point. There you go. Mic drop. That's mine. Good luck, Dr.
Okay.
Eric.
So mine does not come from the United States. I figure I bring in some European issues here. So the headline is French court finds twisted anesthesiologist guilty of killing 12 patients. Here's where it gets really messy. Okay.
Okay.
They called him Dr. Death. 53-year-old star anesthesiologist was sentenced to life on Thursday. So this all happened yesterday, right? Is one of the biggest criminals of the French healthcare legal system. That he was a serial killer, was highly twisted. He had tampered with colleagues. So this is a guy who tampered with other doctors' patients. In France, just kind of, they hang IV Tylenol for pain relief during surgeries. He was tampering with the bags containing Tylenol and other pain medication drugs, triggering cardiac arrest during surgery.
On purpose.
On purpose, so that he would then intervene to resuscitate the patients because he knew what the cause of the cardiac arrest was. So he seemed like this, I am all-powerful, narcissistic anesthesiologist. Here's what's screwed up. The age of the patients ranged from 4 to 89.
Oh my God.
One patient, the 4-year-old, suffered 2 cardiac arrests simultaneously back-to-back during his surgical procedure. Wound up living, by the way. However, the 4-year-old spent 2 days in the coma, and this happened 10 years ago. So now that he's 14 and is living on, has all kinds of health issues now because of the cardiac arrest sustained when he was 4 years old. But here's where it's really screwed up. That his father was an anesthesiologist.
The 4-year-old.
And the reason why this is fucked up is how it applies to where we are today with certain people in our country, was that he had lived with a privileged upbringing, large home, 3 other brothers and sisters, private clinics with a lot of money, very privileged lifestyle, would travel all over the world. At the end of the day, it wound up being exactly 12 patients that died, totaling a total of 30 patients he had poisoned over a 10-year period. So it wasn't like, it was like a slow kind of right? The 2 hospitals he operated at did not connect any of the dots. This was all put together by the families of the deceased victims talking to each other.
Oh my God.
And then the French government, when they finally got involved, the trial took 3 days and he was convicted. He has 10 days to appeal. And that he basically had said that I don't need to defend myself. My work stands on its own. I saved all these people. From a healthcare perspective, that is beyond terrifying. This goes beyond what Kevorkian was doing in Detroit.
Yeah.
Because at least he was out in the open doing it, right?
Yeah.
But this was like
God.
literally deliberate. Imagine you're going into surgery and you have another doctor tampering with your IV bag, thinking that he's adding something to help you make you more comfortable, and it winds up giving you a cardiac arrest.
No, I can't.
Yeah. Special
What
place in
does that to
hell.
someone? Is it just like a crazy God complex where you're like,
It is, because he, knowing that he knew what the problem was and being able to reverse the Tylenol toxicity and being able to resuscitate the patient because he knew what he put in the IV bag.
Right. Because in 30 of these cases, he did 30 of them, 12 of them died, but
Right.
18 of them he saved.
Correct.
Oh my God. What a fucking cunt. Sorry, I don't like using that word, but I mean,
So that
I
was
think,
my, that's
you know,
my, that's
deploying
my
it on
fucked up
special
story
occasions.
for today.
oh my God.
I thought I'd bring a fucked up healthcare story.
Yeah,
So-
no,
You had to.
okay. I thought my assassination and nuclear fusion sabotage thing. But
I
That was
thought the
good.
fact
Like,
I
that was a
have
really good
I
one.
have a bounty on my head was a good one. But let's
But you know
go
how I
ahead and
always vote,
vote,
I
y'all.
always say we all win. So, that's how I
It's
go. So.
This is our world. Is there like this much comfort that it's not all in the U.S.? No,
Yeah.
there's no comfort in that. But
I've already seen 4 votes for Dr. Eric. Go ahead and vote. You know how it goes. If you're voting for Dana's story, put Dana in the chat. If you're voting for me, put Lawrence. If you're voting for Dr. Eric, please put Dr. Eric in the chat.
I'm seeing some. They're all violently disturbing. I'm seeing Lawrence, Dana, Eric.
I think we all win on this
Eric,
one.
Dana, not Dana or Lawrence. Thanks.
Thanks, Lefty.
Dana, Lawrence, the dog. This is a pretty close one, but Eric, Dr. Eric, I think you're eking this one
Yeah,
out.
I don't think it's close at all. I think Dr. Eric is winning this pretty handily.
Thank you,
at
everybody.
least we're representing on the board, but congratulations, Dr. Eric Lullove.
Putting a crown
we
on
got
you.
to ask you our question before we go.
We do. I'm going to ask the question.
Yes.
Can I also just say live in real time? My daughter just got a $29,000 scholarship to another art and design school. As we've been on,
Congratulations, kid.
mind you, the
She's
tuition's a lot higher than that.
she's very talented, Dana. You should be very
Thank
proud
you.
of her. She's
Yeah,
really
thank
amazing.
you. So we have a trip to go plan to go see it now because I'm like, okay, well now it's in range. So I'm very proud. And literally just I can see that my text coming up on my computer, and I'm like, 2 minutes ago. You're hearing it now. Proud mama moment.
Amazing. Breaking
Okay.
news.
Breaking news and all the tragedies and awfulness of the world.
Yanni, confetti throw.gif.
People do still pay artists to go to design school apparently. So
Mhm.
awesome. Only because they're charging $60,000 a year. So anyhow, Dr. Eric, I think you know what this question is. The question we ask everyone who comes in on their first time: what is the most Gen X song of all time?
Oh, I mean, come on. Really?
Yeah?
You got to go with The Boss.
Okay.
Okay, which
Which
one?
You
song?
got to go with Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA.
All right.
A good pick. You're the first person to pick Bruce Springsteen.
You are the first person who has named that song, but it is an excellent pick because it is kind of generation defining, right? Like that song was everywhere when we were growing up, and yeah, Born in the
so misunderstood by so many Republicans.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
Born
Derek in the chat is
USA.
saying he's not my boss.
Yeah, he is not my boss, but see, I might have gone for Dancing in the Dark.
Puppy.
Oh, maybe.
here's one of my guys.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Oh my gosh, your dog looks a lot. Is yours a Havanese?
He's a Havanese. His name's Armani.
Yeah, my dog looks like a Havanese, and she's finally settled down. She's on the couch, but so cute.
So cute. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
You legitimately win for worst fucked up Friday story and cutest puppy currently.
I have my other one. She's not in the room here though, but she's
Yeah. I realized I was about to
says-
say cutest puppy, and then Dana would be mad at me forever.
yeah.
No.
Kira
Not
would shun
me.
he's a good
Kira
looking
can
guy,
hear
right?
you.
He's a
She
good
has
looking boy.
ears. She's right there.
She has ears.
Do you want to hurt her feelings? You know how much she loves you, Lawrence.
Yeah.
It's not only about the treats.
Okay, let's talk more about The Boss before we let you go. Tell me why you picked that song, Doctor.
I have always been a Springsteen fan.
Okay.
I grew up on his music. It's just I have never heard of another artist who had the length and longevity of his voice at a concert and how his endurance to sing was far beyond that of any other artist of that time. Even Michael couldn't go that far, like, or that long.
Yep.
Singing wise, like, it was just Bruce could just sing and sing for hours.
Yes. The closest I know to come, I mean, Taylor does it and nobody else.
Yeah. I do love a guy with length and endurance. So yeah.
I bet you do, Lawrence. I bet you do.
Oh my God. Okay.
Come on. I couldn't go one show without,
Listen, Lawrence, that's why we love you.
You can't spike, you can't give me a setup like that without expecting me to spike the ball.
And I did that on purpose, by the way.
Okay, nice.
There was a method to the madness. But I want to just really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for having me on. We didn't even get to the ACA yet, so I guess we have to do another show.
You are welcome back anytime.
Can we have you back in January to talk about this? Because the question kept coming through my head, but I never got to jump in with it because there were too many good topics of like,
well, in order to talk about, so this was like almost like a two-parter, because we had to talk about, in order to talk about the ACA, we had to talk about where we were and where we've been, so that everybody in the chat understands why the ACA just got gutted.
Yeah.
Right. Let's do a part 2. Maybe with some practical advice for like, what the hell are people supposed to do? I mean, I'm thankful I have, for now at least, I have an employer and I'm on their health insurance, but like, I'd be tripping if not. Like,
there's 24 million people who are asking themselves that this morning.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them on Substack. So let's I'll have my people contact your people. We'll get this all booked up.
Let me ask my people. Hang on.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. Me too. Are we going to book Dr. Eric?
Really, guys, thank you so much
for being
Love you guys.
Amazing.
Everybody have a Merry Christmas, and let's have a wonderful finish last couple of days to Hanukkah. And if you celebrate Kwanzaa, happy Kwanzaa. And let's just all try to have a blessed remainder of 2025 and pray for everybody else and pray for those that don't have what we have, and share what you can, be charitable, be kind.
Yeah.
Yes. Fingers crossed that this year doesn't end as fucked up as it began. So, here's hoping.
And let us all hope for better days ahead.
Yes. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Love you, mean it. Bye.
Bye.